On our trip to South Korea, we were joined by Reese's brothers, making it a special family getaway. The journey got off to a late start, with our flight being delayed until 2:30 in the morning. However, the inconvenience was eased by flying business class on Korean Airways, which made all the difference. The spacious seats, attentive service, and added comforts turned what could have been an exhausting for our flight from Cebu into a relaxing and enjoyable experience. We finally landed at Incheon Airport at 7:30 in the morning, feeling a bit tired, but excited for the adventure ahead. After picking up our rental car, we embarked on a long 5-hour drive to Busan. Upon arriving in Busan, one of Korea's most vibrant cities known for its beautiful beaches and fresh seafood, we were ready to dive into everything the city had to offer. We checked into our Airbnb and were blown away by the place. It was a stunning penthouse apartment overlooking Haeundae Beach. The views of the ocean and the city skyline were incredible. And despite being tired from the journey, we were excited to get out and explore. That evening, we headed to one of Busan's famous fish markets where you can choose your own seafood fresh from the tanks. We picked out king crab and lobster, two of Busan's specialties, and had them cooked right there. The seafood was so fresh and flavorful, it really lived up to Busan's reputation for the best seafood in Korea. The next morning, the weather finally cleared up, so we took a leisurely walk along Haeundae Beach. This is one of Korea's most famous beaches, known for its wide sandy shore and lively atmosphere. It was great to see surfers out in the water and locals enjoying the beach alongside tourists. Haeundae Beach really captures the laid-back vibe of Busan. After the beach, we drove to Gamcheon Culture Village, often called the Machu Picchu of Busan because of its colorful, winding streets built into the hillside. This place is known for its art installations and murals, making it a photographer's dream. Our next stop was Haedong Yonggungsa Temple, a Buddhist temple set right on the edge of the sea. Unlike most temples in Korea, which are located in the mountains, this one sits on the rocky coastline, offering breathtaking views of the ocean. The mix of spiritual energy and the sound of the waves made this a peaceful and unforgettable experience. Later that evening, we wandered through the side streets near Haeundae, where street vendors offer a variety of different foods. The seafood stalls in particular caught our attention, especially one where we watched a local vendor skin a live eel right in front of us. It was something we won't forget, and it really shows how fresh the seafood is here in Busan. To wrap up the day, we had dinner at a Japanese sushi restaurant where the sushi came around on a conveyor belt. The sushi was fresh and delicious. To end our day, we took a leisurely stroll along the beach. The next morning, we packed up and set off for Seoul. Along the way, we made a memorable stop at Haeundae Temple, nestled within the breathtaking Gamcheon National Park. As we approached the temple, we were immediately struck by the serene beauty of the surroundings. The temple is perched among forested mountains, offering sweeping views of the peaks and valleys. We wandered through the temple grounds, admiring the ancient architecture and learning about its significance as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, home to the famous Tripitaka Koreana, one of the oldest and most complete collections of Buddhist scriptures. The walking paths were peaceful, with the sounds of nature providing a perfect backdrop for reflection. It was a calming experience, a world away from the bustling cities, and one of the highlights of our journey to Seoul. After a long day of driving, we finally arrived in Seoul. Our Airbnb was another amazing penthouse apartment, this time in the heart of the city. Our first day in Seoul started with a tour of the DMZ, the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. This was one of the most profound experiences of the trip. We began by visiting the various shrines and memorials dedicated to those who suffered during the Korean War. The atmosphere was somber, but deeply moving, a reminder of the division that still exists between North and South Korea. We then took a coach to the third tunnel, one of the secret tunnels dug by North Korea with the intention of invading the South. Walking through the tunnel was surreal, knowing it was meant for military use, but now it's a symbol of peace and hope for reunification. The final part of our DMZ tour was one of the most memorable. After an insightful look into the history and significance of the area, we boarded a coach that took us to the Dora Observatory, where we got a rare view of North Korea across the border. From the observatory, we could see the infamous demilitarized zone stretching out in front of us, barbed wire fences, guard towers, and beyond that, the isolated land of North Korea. The view was both surreal and sobering. Seeing the border up close made us realize the immense global tension this small country continues to cause. Despite the peaceful landscape, the underlying reality of a nation that has been at odds with the world for decades lingered in the air. The guides explained the significance of the area, and we learned how close we were to one of the most militarized borders on the planet. To end the day, we treated ourselves to a traditional Korean barbecue. We sat at a table with a grill in the center, cooking our own meats while enjoying a variety of side dishes. The flavors were incredible, and there's something so satisfying about grilling your own food right at the table. It was the perfect way to wrap up our day. On our second day in Seoul, we decided to escape the city and explore a peaceful oasis called the Garden of Morning Calm. Nestled in the countryside, this beautiful garden felt like a sanctuary, offering breathtaking views of manicured landscapes, vibrant flowers, and serene pathways. As we strolled through the grounds, every corner revealed something magical, from delicate blossoms to tranquil ponds and arched bridges, all perfectly framed by the rolling mountains in the background. On our last day in South Korea, we squeezed in some retail therapy before heading to the airport, wrapping up an unforgettable trip. Overall, we thoroughly enjoyed our time in this beautiful country, rich in culture and history. We made some great memories exploring stunning landscapes and experiencing unique sights. South Korea has been a wonderful chapter in our travels, and we're happy to have checked it off our list with no regrets. With so many other places still to see in the world, we don't expect to return, but Korea was definitely worth visiting.